Realistically, gentlemen, today is going to be a fun one. So if you're here, you are either caught in the dogma of pain. If you are here and you're caught in the dogma or feel like you are in an in-between place or in limbo, this training is for you. If you're feeling like the place you're in, you just cannot seem to get out, this message is for you. And if you're just here because you're tired of feeling how you're currently feeling, this training is for you. Now, I'm going to walk you through the 7 steps of turning your pain into power. Now, do me a favor. Those of you that are on here with me, if you are here live and you are currently experiencing pain, do me a favor and put the number 1 in the chat. Do me a favor and put that below. And I'm pulling this up right now just so I can see you all. Now, if you all are currently experiencing pain and you're here, do me a favor and put the 1 in the chat. I'm just ensuring that I have my live pulled up because I actually can't see anything on my interface. So as we're moving on, a little bit about me. I am the head coach here at the Empowered Man program. I help run the curriculum inside the Thrive program and also run the back end program called Momentum. I've gotten to work with thousands of men that have gone through our front end program. And what I always tell all of them is, gentlemen, pain and uncertainty is not unique to your experience. However, the context of what you're experiencing is. And for that, I have empathy. Now, gentlemen, if you're experiencing pain and you feel like you just cannot seem to get out of it, I'm going to break down 7 tools today that I have used to get myself out of pain, and realistically, what other men have used as well. I went through a very treacherous separation quite some time ago. And I remember there were days that it took the strength of Hercules to get myself out of bed. There were days that mirror did not reflect a familiar face. And those days were the days where I let my pain get too loud. Now, I'm going to break down a 7-step process that is going to support you in moving through this and turning that pain into power. Before that, there are 3 hard truths that you need to accept if you're experiencing pain. Starting with number 1, experiencing pain is an unavoidable part of your life. That's just the truth. No matter how hard you try to keep things on an even keel, life will test your resolve over and over and over again. The worst part of pain is usually the timing. Let's be realistic. It is never going to be the right time. And when things go wrong, they tend to go wrong all at once, which leaves you feeling like you're in the middle of a shitstorm that is never going to end. And number 3, it's these moments where your true character is revealed. So if you find yourself in the depths of pain, realize that you can use what you're experiencing to make yourself stronger. Oftentimes, you won't realize how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. How many guys have heard this quote before? Do me a favor and share in the chat. If you have heard this quote before, put me in the chat, just so I can get an assessment of really how many of you are familiar with really what it's like to get caught in this dogma. Now I'm going to share these 3 anecdotes with you before I move on to the 7 steps. Overcoming pain is not something that you can achieve passively. You're going to have to stick your elbows out and display some grit. You're going to have to act decisively to make the best out of the hand you have been dealt. It's okay to take some time to let yourself feel some pain. But if you let it put a chokehold on any progress you're making in your life for months and years without letting it serve as a force for good, then you don't have anyone to blame but yourself. And lastly, Don't give pain the power over you that it doesn't deserve. So today I'm going to take you through the 7 steps I have used myself, as well as thousands of other men have used to turn their pain into power. Now, any questions you have as we go through this, do me a favor, put them in the chat. And if we have time, I will answer these things at the very end. I'll answer these things at the very end. Now, I'm going to start with number 1. Let yourself feel the pain, but not for too long. In order to heal, you have to feel. That means feeling the emotions that we are sometimes not too proud to feel. Now, it's completely fine to let yourself feel pain for a little, especially if you've gone through trauma that you know is going to leave some scars on your psyche. And let's be honest, there's certain life events that are too painful to just brush off. The loss of a loved one, divorce, separation, etc., etc. But no matter how you act after experiencing them, these things are going to change the way that you think about life forever. So before figuring out how you're going to turn pain into power, take a step back and let yourself feel whatever you need to feel. Because in order to heal, we need to feel. That's one of the first things we teach our guys inside Thrive. The only way out is through. You cannot evade or numb yourself away from the pain. And that is just the truth. Number 2, you turn your pain into power by learning from it. When we go through something painful, it's easy to lose sight of the reasons why we experience pain. We experience pain so that we can learn, adapt, and grow. There's always lessons to be learned when we're going through hard times. However, you can't learn from pain if your mindset prevents it. Now, if you carry your pain around with you and you never reflect on it, then anger and resentment will continue to blind you to the fact that pain is the best teacher you will ever have. Now, if you're one of those people that wears your pain like a badge of fucking honor, it is your duty and your diligence to turn that pain into power. Find the lessons that sometimes only mistakes can teach you, gentlemen. I cannot stress that enough. Now, if I'm making sense and this is landing for you guys, do me a favor and put the number 3 in the chat. I just want to know that you're all following along. I can see that there's 23 of you live here with me, and I appreciate you all being here. I'm going to parlay over to number 3. Now, number 3, surround yourself with positive people who tell you the truth. This should seem like a no-brainer. However, I'm going to elaborate on this. The person you want in your corner is the person who forces you to look in the mirror. You want the person who's going to say, sure, it's awful that your company let you go, but honestly, what could you have done to prevent this from happening? That's a finite example. And I'm going to share with you all those little friends you have who agree with you and say, she's a bitch, fuck her, you can do better. They tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. I'm going to be honest with you. Those friends don't love you as much as the friends who tell you what you need to hear when you need to hear it. I'm that friend. But there is a way to deliver that brutal honesty with kindness and tact so that you can receive it. And that's number 3. Surround yourself with positive people who tell you the fucking truth. Not people who just stroke your ego and tell you what you want to hear. Because nothing good comes from that. We don't need those that stroke our ego. We need those that put up a mirror for us and force us to do better. Is this making sense for all of you? I've got 25 of you on here with me, and if this is making sense, just give me a hell yeah in the chat. I'm going to parlay over to number 4. Counter pain with positive habits. Now, it's so crazy. When you encounter pain, guys, the only way out is through. You have to go right through the pain, through the stickiness, through the challenging days. There's going to be challenging days. I'm not going to lie to you. And once you've let yourself feel the pain for a few days or weeks, sitting with the pain becomes a bit unproductive. And that's just the truth. If you're going to bounce back, you need to do it quickly. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to turn pain into power. Now, I think somewhere along the way, we flipped the switch on this. For some reason, when we experience pain, we do all of the wrong things. We start drinking, we start using substance, we start womanizing, we start numbing the pain instead of feeling the pain. And I can't tell you why that is, but I can tell you that if you are not combating your pain with positive habits, you're part of the problem. And that's just the truth. So, gentlemen, counter your pain with positive habits. I implore you to do so. Number 5, use self-talk to avoid self-sabotage. Oftentimes, people look at others who are feeling lost in life, or others who feel like they're in this in-between place, or maybe they're in limbo, and they say, how in the world could I let myself go like this? How did things get this bad? Maybe some of you are asking yourself that same question right now. How did I let things get this bad? And you overthink every little thing, expecting that you are going to come to some conclusion that you did not already overanalyze and overthink. Gentlemen, there is no amount of overanalysis, there is no amount of regret, and there is no amount of overthinking that can change the past. Just like there is no amount of proper planning that can appropriately predict the future. What most people don't realize is they can find themselves in a similar predicament that they're currently feeling due to something called self-sabotage. So keep in mind, if you're enduring pain and it feels like things can't get any worse, you've never been more wrong in your life. Things can always get worse. Just like things can always get better. Self-sabotage is a way to temporarily escape the pain through instant gratification. Self-sabotage can also trigger seemingly dormant bad habits to reappear. Do you know how many men I talk with on a daily basis that tell me, man, I wasn't a drinker, but then I started experiencing pain and I became a drinker. I haven't done that since I was really young. I've heard it about drinking. I've heard it about womanizing. I've heard it about substance. And guys, I have no judgment at all. However, this is your proverbial permission slip to do better and stop self-sabotaging, because no one is coming to save you. And that's the truth. No one is coming to save you. So you need to make a choice today. Am I going to continue to let my pain define me? Or am I going to turn my pain into power? I think most of you would choose the latter. How many of you want to turn your pain into power? Do me a favor and put the word power in the chat, if so. I'm going to parlay over to number 6. Number 6, you turn pain into power, gentlemen, by focusing on your future. Another strategy for turning pain into power is to use it as an opportunity to refocus on your long-term vision for your life. How many of you actually have a vision for your life? I was talking with our guys in Thrive the other day, and we were talking about vision. And I want to remind you guys, a man without a vision is a man without a future. And a man without a future will continue to repeat his bad habits from the past. Now I'm talking real shit right now, guys. How many of you actually have a vision for the future or a vision for your life? I'm talking written out somewhere, said out loud on a recording, on a video, something like that. How many of you guys actually have a vision for what you want your future to look like? Or is the pain right now too much that you cannot even think through that? When it's up here, that's imagination. When it is written or said out loud, that becomes vision. A man with a vision is a man with a future. A man without a vision is a man without a future, and a man without a future will continue to repeat their past. Pain can cause this vision to get a little muddy, and rightfully so. However, you don't want to let pain erase this vision only to realize several months or maybe even years later that you haven't made positive strides towards achieving it. Instead, use your period of reflection to get clear about your future goals. Use the pain to help you realize what's missing from your life. And then carefully craft a plan to fill the gaps. Now remember this, your plan does not have to be perfect. It can change, and it probably will, as you progress through life. And that's okay as long as you have something to aim at. So turn your pain into power, gentlemen, by focusing on your future, the things that you have to gain. And number 7, seek professional help. And I'm not talking about your friends that have been through divorce. For some of you, that may be triggering. Do you know how many times I have guys come to me and they're like, oh man, I'm going to talk to my friends that have gone through divorce. Why the fuck are you taking advice from someone that has gone through divorce, the thing that you were desiring to try to not go through? Truthfully, seek professional help. I don't give a shit what your friend who went through divorce 17 years ago tells you to do. I don't care about him. I care about you. And what I can tell you is seeking professional help is the best way to turn your pain into power. If you're one of those guys that feels like nothing is working, then it might be time to enlist the help of someone that has been there, not only done that, but supported others through doing that. There's no doubt that you're perfectly capable of overcoming hard times in your life. I have no doubt. All of you are completely capable. However, having someone who can guide you in every step of the way is an invaluable resource, especially when they have years of experience of helping people just like you, every single one of you. Don't judge yourself for needing extra support, gentlemen. Most people deny themselves the help that they need for the sole purpose of, I'm going to tough it out on my own. That's bullshit. Toughing it out simply doesn't work for everyone. If you truly feel like you need the guidance of a professional to overcome your current struggles, then don't hesitate. Take action. I mean that. I truly do. I remember when I went through my rock bottom, I felt alone. I felt scared. I wasn't eating. I was drinking a lot. I can tell you that much. And I told myself, I don't need help. I'm a man. I can do it myself, like a lone wolf. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Gentlemen, we are not meant to do things alone. We are meant to thrive in tribes and thrive in community. There is power in community, just like there is strength in numbers. Toughing it out is not the path of most allowance. However, learning from your mistakes and understanding that your pain is a permission slip to turn it into power. Now, I broke down 7 steps today on how you can turn your pain into power and actually move through how you're currently feeling and have more elegance and grace in your life. Now, I do want to go through a bit of a recap here. Final thoughts. Turning pain into power is a difficult task. The good news is that if anyone else has overcome what you're going through, then there's no reason why you can't do the same. I could tell you stories of man after man after man that has gone through our Thrive program, and they come out a new man. They suddenly become a man who knows he's going to be okay regardless of what happens. Now is the time for you to go out and take action. Now, I want you to take some of these tools that I shared today and maybe choose a couple. You know, if you're not doing any work right now on yourself, start small. Now is the time for you to go out and take action. So I implore you to give some of these a try. And if you haven't, then how do you know if they'll help or not? You may find that one works better than the other. But as always, the bottom line is this. The only thing that matters is that you make forward progress each day. Now, I do have an opportunity. I have an opportunity for 10 men to get on and chat with one of our advisors to see if you're a fit for us to support you. Now, I'm going to post a link in the comments down below. And I implore some of you to seek support. If you are tired of feeling how you're currently feeling, I feel for you. I truly do. But I can tell you that it does not have to always be this way. Your pain does not define you. The thing that you did does not make you unlovable. It does not make you someone that is a bad man. It makes you someone that is capable of making a bad decision. And I have no judgments. But I implore you to start doing the work to turn your pain into power. So the only way out is through, gentlemen. Now, I appreciate each of you being here. I'm going to pull up this link and put it in the chat for you all, so that way you can take advantage of this opportunity. Give me one moment to get this pulled up. And any questions that you all have, I have about 15 minutes left before my next one. Feel free to pop it into the chat. I just posted the link in the chat, and I'm going to try to pin it to the top. I'm just taking a look at the comments right now, guys. I can't pull it up on my computer, so my apologies there. Yeah, I see lots of guys down here. Love it. Gentlemen, what question do you have? I'm glad you're here, Brent. David, I'm glad you're here. Anthony, I'm glad you're here. David, glad you're here. Love it. Casey, I'm glad you're here. I'm just pulling up the comments down here, guys, so I can see. Keith, I'm glad you're digging the group already, brother. Gentlemen, I just posted the link in the comments. Do me a favor, take a look at it. Keith, I appreciate that reflection, man. Gentlemen, I think it's incredibly prudent for you guys to at least hop on, have a conversation with us, and see if we can support you. Best thing that will come from it is you'll get a game plan on how to process through what you are currently experiencing. No man is meant to go through this alone. And if you feel like you're meant to go through this alone, you are incredibly mistaken. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to hang out on here for about another minute while some of these questions come through. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, Steven. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, guys. Well, I haven't seen any questions come in. I appreciate you all being here. We will probably leave this recording up through the weekend for those of you that watch it at a later time, but I can't say that we will leave it up indefinitely. We have not decided yet. Now, I appreciate you all being here, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.